Hi there, these are some quick instructions for the dominant chord project. You're going to be working with a partner on this, so you should just make these decisions together. You've got all the details here. I'm just going to hit the highlights. So the first thing you're going to decide is what your melodic motive is going to be. You're going to pick one of these three. I'm going to pick the middle one for this demonstration. If you're using finale, I would recommend that you put in that melodic figure right away and just go ahead and copy and paste it in 4 times. Then the next step, of course, is to choose your key. In this case, I'm using C major, but you have to use a key other than C. If you're using finale, you just select a measure, you do Command A to select them all. You go to the key signature tool, double click, move this thing up or down to choose the key you want, then say OK, and that will put you on your new key. But I'm doing this in the key of C to give you an example. Next is to choose your chords. You've got your melody rhythm. You don't have the right notes yet, but you have the rhythm. You choose your tonic chord, key of C major. I'm doing C major 7. Then you choose a secondary or sub 5. I chose 5/7 of 2. Then the chord that you've chosen acts like the opposite chord. So the secondary dominant will act like a sub 5 to create a deceptive resolution. So this will, instead of going down a fifth, will go down a half step. You choose a good target chord for that. Usually it's going to end up being some kind of chromatic, modal interchange chord. That's the most typical choice. I've chosen flat 6 major 7. That achieves my deceptive resolution. Then I'm using a inversion here to keep my stepwise bass going. Then I've chosen 4 major 7 as my diatonic chord. Then I've chosen sub 5 of 2 as my sub 5 because I already did a secondary dominant. That, again, is expected to go down a half step, but instead of that, it's going to go down a fifth to create a deceptive resolution. And once again, I find myself using flat 6 major 7 as the target chord. It doesn't have to be the same chord here. It's just that's the way this example worked out. And then finally, my final chord is something that should lead nicely back to C. In this case, I chose flat 2 major 7. Then my next step would be to voice lead. Try to use this middle range of the lower range of the treble clef for your 4-way close. You can use 9-for-1 tensions, tension substitution. Put in your fundamental bass here. That's your A section. You go over to your B section. This is where you're going to use a lot of dominant chords with that dominant function. You can modulate, but you don't have to. You just come up with notes or chords that will lead nicely to your first chord here. If you want to, right off the bat, use a lot of special function, dominant chords with that dominant function, you might want to use 1/7 here. And then you can alternate that 1/7 with various other special function chords. The most common ones are 1/7, 4/7, and flat 7/7. Those are the ones that are easiest to help you hear as special function chords, but you can use any of them on the list. But make sure that you retain a feeling of a tonal center. So if whatever key you're in here, it's a good idea to start on the 1 chord. Now the 1 chord does not have to be 1/7. It could be 1 major 7, and then you go to your special function dominant, and back to your 1, and then to your special function dominant. The most effective way, or the most reliable way to create a special function sound is to play a 1 chord, then go to a special function dominant, like say flat 7/7 or 4/7, then go back to your 1 chord, then go to another special function dominant, and go back to your 1 chord, another special function dominant, 1 chord, another special function dominant, or something that will lead you clearly back to your A section. And then your last A section can be the same as your first A section, but you just can create a little ending. So that's in a nutshell. We're going to work on it together in class as well, but at least you can get the general idea that way. Okay, and email me or come to my office hour if you need extra help.